What's going on, guys? It's me, Tim, and in today's video I want to look at Sphere 3D. And first off, the elephant in the room, the notice of delisting or failure to satisfy a listing rule, meaning staying over $1. And their last notification here was July 25 of 2022, so this is their extension. They received a notification from the NASDAQ giving them another 180 days, so now they have until July 24, 2023 to regain compliance, get back over $1. Now, if by that time they fail to get back over $1, there will be a reverse split. And if you believe in the long term of the company, you could argue that, hey, I'm okay with a reverse split. But in the end, we know the root cause of this. If a company is having a reverse split, they're likely dealing with the NASDAQ listing requirement issues, being under $1. Now, if a stock is splitting, something like Amazon, Tesla, we've seen this across the board over the years. If a stock is splitting, it's usually a good thing. The stock price has been going up, so they wanted to get the stock price to a lower price just to make it seem more attractive to the average people. Even though nowadays you can buy fractional shares, but it's all about the image. If a stock is having a split, typically seen as a good thing. If a stock is having a reverse split, it's typically seen as a bad thing because it's likely under $1. Now, as I've said before, I am, with this one, planning on waiting for it to get back over $1. You might be saying, why do that? You could buy it here under 50 cents, let it ride back up to $1, and you're already making a double up there. Well, why I don't plan on doing that is because over the coming months, if it doesn't go over $1, it's going to have a reverse split, and we already know public perception on reverse splits is not seen favorable. I think it's got quite a hurdle to climb if it's going to get back over $1. It can definitely get back over $1 by that time and not have to reverse split, but I find it personally a bit unlikely. Unless Bitcoin just continues to balloon up, gets to 30,000 and above, we could definitely see Sphere 3D back over $1, no problem. But, you can look at the stock market in two ways. You can look at it kind of like gambling. I'm going to get into this stock. Hopefully it goes up. If not, I lose all my money, big deal. And that's definitely a way to play some stocks and even a portion of your portfolio potentially in just pure speculation. Another way you can look at it is wealth preservation, risk management. Just being the fact that this company holds so much risk to me, I'm going to wait. I want to wait and see how it behaves, how it does going back towards $1. And maybe potentially I will be a holder of Sphere 3D towards the end of this year. And maybe I would potentially miss on that run up somewhat. But it's just something to be aware of. A reverse split is typically not seen as a good thing. And I do find it very likely that Sphere 3D may have to reverse split. Now, if you believe in the long term of the company and you just want a DCA over the long haul, over the multiple years, that's perfectly fine. If you see something in management, if you see something just in their Bitcoin production and growth and their plan, and you believe in the actual company and don't care much about the stock price, then maybe a reverse split isn't much of a problem. And there are always different approaches to the stock market. Maybe this is only 2 to 3% of your portfolio, and as your portfolio grows, you're just going to kind of average in on this one and ride it for the long term. And that's perfectly fine. But I'm just approaching this in a different way. I already have a decent amount of exposure to Bitcoin miners, being that I have CleanSpark. And of course, I have decent exposure to Bitcoin, being that I hold Bitcoin and other cryptos. But for me, I just find it a bit too high risk. And I would personally wait until it goes back over $1, or at least we get news of that reverse split and kind of get the details there. But all is not bad for Sphere 3D. I'm going to look over a couple things that are actually going good for this company. And one thing you'll see over the months is that they have been increasing their Bitcoin holdings and slowly and steadily increasing their Bitcoin production. Their last month, December, was their best month for Bitcoin production, and that's definitely a step in the right direction. I do think we're going to see more and more good months for their Bitcoin production. And we do have a positive here coming up in this quarter. We have, as said by the CEO, we were excited to receive the 11,850 miners and look forward to getting them installed and hashing during the first quarter of 2023. And with the near completion of deployment of our initial fleet, Sphere 3D continues to evaluate new accretive opportunities to drive value through the new year. And if you're curious about what they are holding currently, they do hold right around 2 million in Bitcoin. This was priced at 16,500. As we know, Bitcoin has definitely came up a bit. So they're probably right around 2.5 million in Bitcoin. Not that much in my opinion, but they're making progress. And before I get into their balance sheet, what they have going on Yahoo Finance, they do also have a claim on a portion of the company's advanced deposits for Core Scientific, which is a company that's going bankrupt. Hopefully in the bankruptcy, they will be able to get some of this money back. So that would help out their balance sheet. And another company that's going bankrupt, Compute North, well, Sphere 3D has a little bit more miners they're waiting from them too. Sphere 3D has about 700 units that they're still waiting for from Compute North. So hopefully they should receive those as well. There's another company that's going through a bankruptcy just like Core Scientific. But what we want to see with Sphere 3D is we want to see them continue to grow production. I mean, just month over month, they grew production by 74%. If we can continue seeing something along those lines, That's definitely a good thing for this company. And before I get into the chart, I did want to show you a couple of things. You'll see that their price to sales is 5.3, which to me, for how much growth they have ahead of them, is somewhat reasonable. That price to sales should get lower and lower, look more attractive as we move on. Now, as you saw here in their first quarter reported in 2022, they had a 17 price to sales. Now it's down to a 5. And part of this, of course, is due to the stock price. But it's also due to their growth in mining and growth in revenue. Going down to their balance sheet, you'll see that they have no debt, but they only have $4 million in cash. And of course, any cash that they're receiving from those other bankruptcies, those deposits that I just mentioned. You'll see over their trailing 12 months, they lose about $51 million to operations. This is not a profitable company, and they're going to be continuing to burn that cash. And as this company is under $1, they definitely risk delisting. They do have a bit of time to regain compliance without a reverse split. But as we approach summer and we don't go back over $1, a reverse split becomes more and more likely, even potentially dilution or acquiring some debt. And as we know, with the high interest rates, companies that need to acquire debt aren't looked at very positively. This is partially why this company has sold off so much. Wall Street doesn't want anything to do with it because they know that there's potential dilution ahead, potential debt that has to be taken out at a high interest rate, and also, of course, this reverse split issue. And for those reasons, that's why I'm simply going to wait on Sphere 3D. Could I miss out on a huge run up? Yes, of course I could. But for risk management, I think it's a lot safer to just sit on the sidelines for this one and keep an eye on it. Now, one thing on the chart that we've seen that's positive, just like many stocks, this has been in a general uptrend since the beginning of the new year. And one thing you're going to want to watch, I have here the 50, the 100, and the 200 EMA pulled up. We did get a nice little run. We pulled back, retraced, and we bounced right around the 200 EMA. Bounced right back over all the other EMAs, and now we came back down, dipped under the 200 EMA, and now we're trying to maintain it. Keep an eye on the 200 EMA and see that we can continue to maintain this. And we do have a general ascending support here going on, so keep an eye on this support level as well. If we just trade sideways and break this, other traders might see this and it might start selling off. Now, if we do start pushing up, we definitely have a resistance at 50 cents and we have a low of roughly 23 cents. But we do have another important support level to watch before we potentially go down to 23 cents. And this is going to be right around 37 cents. So keep an eye on Sphere 3D because in my eyes, it is about to choose a new direction. It's either going to break out to the upside and keep running up following this uptrend, or it's going to break this and start pushing its way down. So these are two important levels to watch. It does look like the volatility is tightening, and then we're going to get a new direction. Either the bulls or bears are going to take over. And what side takes over Sphere 3D could be determined by the direction of Bitcoin, obviously. We do have an important support levels established for Bitcoin here, right around 22,300. We have bounced off of that quite a few times, so keep an eye on that. And just like with Sphere 3D, we do have a little bit of tightening going on for Bitcoin. We are getting lower highs recently here, but we're maintaining our low. So we're either going to break this and start pushing back down, or we're going to break this descending resistance and we're going to push our way back up. Now, as for a resistance point, a resistance level to watch on Bitcoin, it's right around 23,300. If we can break that, we're likely to push farther. And as I've said previously, if we can push our way to 25,000 and break 25,000, we really don't have any levels to watch after that all the way up until 28. So if we were to break 25,000 to the upside on Bitcoin, break out of 25, we're very possible to just keep running and go towards 28,000. Of course, new supports could be established, but we just have this kind of no man's land, this kind of open area where there was really no supports developed besides this like 25,000 area, and then it started cooling off right around 28. But let me know what you guys think about Sphere 3D. Are you just watching this from the sidelines? Are you DCAing in this one? Or are you betting the farm on it? Thanks for watching, guys. Be careful out there and have a good day.